So we'll quickly look at these marks in close-up. These are the marks from the first basting spoon I showed you, and hopefully you can see they are JHP conjoined. That's a good image of it. And struck 3 times, very small punch. Sure, that's their gold working punch. The second set of marks is the cruciform IHIP York mark. All scrunched up, I'm afraid. And there it is, either side of a standard mark. Very early form of York hallmarking. That puts an object, in my book, within the first year, few months or year of Hampsten and Prince starting to work and assay silver. Then we'll move to the 1783 marks. That's the standard early Hampsten and Prince mark you're going to see most often. It's really decoratively and well cut. IH over IP, little pellet, and little serifs to the top of the I's and the H's and the base of the P. More rudimentary cut date letter. That H is not going to get any awards at school for handwriting. And there's the early York standard mark, quite distinctive from London. Look at the cut corners, look at the elaborate whippy tail, and look at that leopard's head. You can't mistake that leopard's head for London. It almost looks like a skull wearing a crown. And that very sharp V base to it. That is the early York leopard's head, believe it or not. Once seen, never forgotten, I think. You'll be having nightmares about that. Let's look at... There's a nice set of early 19th century York marks. Date letter for 1810. There's a later leopard. That's the one you start to see in the 19th century. Duty mark. Slightly later. Standard mark as well. Cattle and Barber's mark. Lovely set of marks, actually. Most York serving spoons are beautifully marked. And then the later set... Barbara North, that little crescent, in case you're wondering, is a workman's mark. Standard mark, Victoria's duty mark. That's the later leopard's head that you get again, another one. They're all in my book if you can find a copy. The date letter, nicely cut date letter for 1839, and there it is. That's the one to focus on. That is the Yorktown mark. 5 lions in a cross within a circle. Slightly earlier on, you can get it in a shield, or a shield with a rounded base, which is a rare one. And also, look, if you're looking for one example of this mark, be aware, like this example, this is struck slightly favouring the base. So you haven't got the complete round impression of it. And that often happens with this mark. So if you want a really good round Yorktown mark struck in, shop around before you buy. But there aren't that many, I'm afraid, to find these days. And here's the York Club fork. And that's the engraving you expect to see, the Yorkshire Rose. And then you've got full set of nice marks. Notice here, even though it's 1838 and we're in the reign of Queen Victoria, we've still got George III's duty mark on it. That happens.